Oh, finally. Okay. Sorry, guys, because it was stuck at like this waiting window, like going live forever, and then it wouldn't actually go live. So, okay, finally, I am here. Okay, what's up, you guys? I don't know if you guys are still here or not. Welcome to another episode of Army Tea Time. Hi, welcome to Army Tea Time. This is your host, Jay Money, and today we're gonna talk about a very hi Olive. Today we're gonna talk about a topic that's been asked a lot. I've seen a lot on Twitter recently. Hi, Jennifer. Hey, Arctic. Arctic, what is your real name? Hi, Bernadette. Okay, yes. So some of you may have attended a previous live where I talked about a similar topic. Hi, Rafita. Finally woke up in time. What do you mean? It's noon for you. So anyway, okay. Anyway, yeah, so some of you may have attended a previous live, I think a couple of years ago, where we did talk about this topic before. And, but I guess today we're going to go a bit more in depth with more details and more facts. Thanks. Jessica, okay, I'm going to try to remember that. Okay, so you guys, as you can tell from the title, today's live is called Army Tea Time. Why BTS isn't going to your country? Do you, um, which countries are you from? Let me know. Hi, Mindy. Oh, then why are you called Bernadette? If your name, if your name is an actual name, I'm gonna call you by that, or else I'm gonna confuse you. So I'm sorry. Okay, so tell me what countries you're from. Hey, Arya. Tell me what countries you're from, and then so we can get the ball rolling, and maybe I can pick a country that we can talk about because I've got a few that I wanted to talk about. And oh, Jennifer, I already know. Okay, hi, India. Okay, good because India is one of the countries that I do want to talk about because I know there are like tons and tons. Oh, Orfida, yeah, I definitely know Brunei as well. Um, Okay, so let's talk about India first. This is a country that I talked about before, and I mentioned it in a previous Army Tea Time. The previous Army Tea Time where we talked about good things. Um, and for the first time ever, this was a momentous occasion. In 2021, for the first time ever, like Namjoon made a special mention for Indian armies. He thanked Indian armies for managing to raise a very short amount, very big amount in a very short amount of time. And it was about, I think, 30-ish thousand USD in 24 hours. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but in India, that is a lot of money. So it was to help with COVID relief. And Namjoon recognized those efforts, and he did mention, like, kudos to the Indian armies. And I was really happy because India is not a country that is acknowledged a lot in uh, like K-pop, especially when it comes to K-pop concerts. If you're from other countries where BTS don't go to, don't worry, I'll get to that in a minute. But we're talking about like India as an example first, and then we'll get to possibly some other countries. And if you have a question about a specific country, then just put it in the comments, and I'll let you know. The following points do apply to a lot of countries, so even if I'm mentioning India specifically, it may apply to your country as well. So, okay, uh, this following tip, not this following tip, this following fact, I did a lot of reading last night on um, trying to find out how big the culture is in India and also trying to get a general feel for the population, how they feel towards K-pop. There are a ton of K-pop fans in India. It seems like it, but it's also because India is a very, very big country. So what seems like a very big number is actually relative to the population that exists there. However, a lot of the population is, for example, a homophobic. I saw actually quite a few comments from guys Indian guys, in response to a K-pop topic, they came right out to say, I think K-pop is gay. And I was a bit surprised, but also kind of not, because I would say there's not a lot of exposure to other cultures. India is a very homogenous population because, it's just such a large population of mostly one type of race. So not being exposed to other cultures will tend to make you uh, fear the different. Let's just say, to put it in a nice way, fear the different. And so a lot of them are saying that. So these are the factors. Let's talk about the factors generally. Hi, Vitamin. Okay, the main factor that usually affects whether a concert goes to your country or not is financial, but also cultural. And cultural affects financial. Hi, Lisa. Cultural affects financial. Wouldn't you guys agree? If the culture doesn't lean towards K-pop, that means the K-pop concert is not going to do well. And it means that not a lot of people will attend the concert, and the concert is not going to do well, and neither the organizers nor the artist and the artist's company will make a lot of money. So it's a chain here. It's a chain, and there are so many factors and so many things that are linked. I might jump about here and there, so I hope you guys can keep up, but my mind is going at like 100 miles per hour, and there's so many things that I want to tell you. I tried to write it down and organize it, but I know I'm going to ignore it because I get all excited like that. So first we talked about a little bit about culture. We may jump back to that. But the second thing that I want to talk about is that usually for a big country or a major city, and like let's say BTS wants to hold a concert there, what they do is they have to gather information on whether a concert there will be well received and will be successful, both like emotionally, financially, from all aspects, right? So there are companies that you can hire within a certain country that do like data analysis for you and statistics for you. So like for example, a big example is if you guys subscribe to Spotify, at the end of the year, there's always Spotify Wrapped. And even though it's personal statistics for you, like how many times I listened to this song, right? And where are you from? And all that, Spotify has that information. So a company that is seeking information on, data on how well a certain artist will be received. So for example, they will use Spotify as a reference. In India, so let's say they'll look at India. How many people are subscribed to Spotify? How many people played BTS songs within this certain amount of time, like in the last year, for example? They need also a time period that they're looking at. Of course, they'll look at recent, um, a recent period of time. Uh, Let me preface this by saying that I know about all of this because I took media and communication in college. So we studied a lot about how statistics and media work, together. And so of course, K-pop and media, everything is linked, right? And so yeah, I do have some knowledge on this. Um, and I did my research, of course. So okay, again, they will use information from example Spotify. They will use like information from how often a song is played on the radio, for example. And oh, that's great. That's great to know. Um, so how often BTS is played on the radio, how often BTS is played on Spotify or whatever local apps you have, or what else, like how often they appear in the media. All of these are factors to them seeing how well they will be received in a certain country. And of course they have to look at history of attendance to K-pop concerts, and because India doesn't have much of a history of that at all, I do believe that there was a K-pop band. It's not that big, or maybe I'm wrong, but Card, I don't know if you know this, it's a band that is made up of two guys and two girls, and So KARD has performed in India, but the thing is, they were very smart. They knew that not a lot of artists have performed in India, and they wanted to be one of the first or the first big act. Yeah, it's a co-ed group that held a concert in India, so that they would have that in their bank. Like, exactly. KARD came to India, and so that they could have that on their like resume, like, hey guys, we did a concert in India. What about you guys? But anyway, so they're different. And anyway, it's easier. I guess they did pave the way a little bit for other artists, because now, then, because of them and several other smaller artists that I saw have performed in India, because of that, now we have concert data on how well that particular concert was received in India. So we'll come back to India in a bit. So far, we've talked about culture. Yeah, culture. So also, let's talk about economy. Economy is a very, very big issue, of course. I'm going to give an example. Like, we'll use India as an example. India is still listed as um, not a first world country. I don't like these sort of labels, but for economic purposes, we have to use them because they're what's used globally. So India is not a first world country, meaning that you don't have economic stability, and it's not a prosperous country. It's a country that may be self-sufficient, but not prosperous. And of course, this is fact. I'm sorry to say, this is fact. And there's like a lot of the population is considered as poor. And so, of course, taking a look at that, no matter even if you are a fan, will you be able to afford the ticket to go to a concert? And so they look at that. I'm sure that a lot of artists are aware of the number of fans that they have everywhere. But will those fans be able to afford concerts? A real live example that I've been through myself is when buying tickets for the Thailand concert. Now, Thailand is another country that is self-sufficient but not considered prosperous. It's not like, it doesn't have major exports except maybe rice to the surrounding countries. It doesn't have, well, let's just say the economy is just meh. And when I was buying tickets for I feel bad just saying it like that. I'm sorry, okay? Um, when I was buying tickets for the Love Yourself final in Thailand, all the tickets that the ticket sections that sold out first were all the nosebleed sections up on the top. Like, all the cheapest sections sold out first. And this was because the Thai armies couldn't afford better seats. And so, in actually seriously rare occasion, all the cheaper tickets sold out first. And that's because I asked some Thai people when I was there, and they said they couldn't afford the lower rows and the ground seats. They were way too expensive. And I felt really sad for them because finally BTS is coming to their country, but you have to view them from afar. And that's so sad because this is the epitome of so close yet so far. I'm sure they were grateful to be able to attend a concert, but imagine that. Imagine, like, you still have this physical barrier between you and them, because even though they're coming to your country, you can only like afford this much. And so it's quite sad. But still, yes, BTS went there because Thailand is very cheap. It's a very cheap place to hold a concert. And also, uh, they they are very welcoming people. Again, culture. I would think the difference between them and in India, I would say that maybe it might not be like foreigners, like Koreans, and especially with a lot of the population thinking that they're gay, it might not be they might not be well respected, and that's another issue. Um, Yeah, in Thailand they accept all sorts of people, right? They're very diverse and welcoming people, and for the longest time, like you see them not having much issues with like gays, trans women, trans men, trans people, and just generally, I say everybody is pretty welcome in Thailand. So culturally, I think that nobody would have issues. I've been to Thailand like several times, maybe 3 or 4 times, and it's it's been a wonderful time every time. Saving a nest egg for when BTS comes here, yeah. And if they don't, then you can use that nest egg to go somewhere else to see them. You know. So far, what do you guys think? I've been talking like on and on and on. I think I've said a lot, but I mean, there's still lots to go through. There's still a lot of factors that I can talk about, and I would love to tell you. Let me take a sip of my tea. And meanwhile, you guys have any questions or comments on the things that I've said so far? Thank you. Um, okay. Any questions? There are more reasons to come, so stay tuned. We'll talk a little bit more about financial because that leads to my next point. Okay, so we're gonna specifically talk about BTS concerts. BTS concerts are not just the concerts, they're a fucking experience. They want you to experience different things, and so they come with like major concert props, right? Like you've seen the concert videos. There's like balloons that they go up in the air in. There's like these little like van transport things uh that they go around the stadium in because they make sure. Oh, thank you, Lisa. And so they have these little transport things that they make sure that they get to go around the stadium and get as close to the fans as possible. They consider it like that. And also they also have like different stage structures that they like because that was their vision. And so here's another factor is like set design and vision of how they want the concert to be carried out. It's not just a concert, right? It's a whole concept that they've designed, and the every concert needs to be the same, if not, at least very similar, 90% similar. It can't be too different. So for example, if they want to go to a certain country and they approach an organizer, and an organizer says, I'm sorry, we can't make that happen, then then of course BTS will have to decline, or Hybe will have to decline, because that concept that they thought about, um, that's like a part of their message that's associated with their album. Everything is tied together. So if that concept cannot be followed through by an organizer when they approach them, then unfortunately your country might not get a concert at all. So because imagine them doing amazing fantastic shows in other countries, but then in a certain country they just stand there and sing on like a singular stage. It's so vastly different, and then that's going to attract unnecessary media attention. They're going to have to explain themselves. So let's think about that. Like, there's a lot of it's not just about them wanting to do a concert, right? There's standards that they have to keep up. And of course, it's not necessarily an organizer's fault either. Let's consider that. There are certain laws in the country, there are certain restrictions in a country, for example. Okay, for Wings the Final, BTS went up in hot air balloons, but let's say a country doesn't allow that sort of thing in their stadiums, or like Jungkook went up on this like wire, right, to fly above the audience. Let's say rigging like that is not allowed in their stadium, or their stadium doesn't have the equipment to support these things that they want. Then again, that's another factor as to why a concert doesn't happen in your country is that their concept doesn't match with like the laws or the restrictions, not just in the country but in the space that they have chosen to perform. They may ask like, okay, do you have a space that can accommodate that? But then again, if it's a country's law that certain things can't be done, then they have to give it a pass. Yeah. And yet another factor is they only have a certain amount of time where they can go on tour because they have grand plans, right? After the tour is another thing, and then it's another thing, and they may have contracts with like other brands and other companies that they have to fulfill. So they only have this certain amount of time, and of course, Hybe and Big Hit being a company, not a greedy company, I might add, but a company nevertheless. A company aims for profits. Yeah. So of course, naturally, they want to make as much profit as they can. So within that short amount of time, naturally, they are going to target the countries that will bring them the most number of profits. And this, of course, mainly includes the U.S. and I would say it includes Singapore as well because our tickets are insanely expensive for the country. And okay, where else? Okay, like how then why did they go to Thailand for Love Yourself? Let's consider this. The stadium was fucking huge. So like also the numbers can make up for, let's say, their target. Uh, I need this country to give me at least this much profit. And if that country, even though the tickets are relatively cheap, but if the stadium is huge and we can still meet that profit target that we're going for, then okay, we're still going to consider it. Provided they meet all our requirements, which is I need you to fulfill my concept, my concert design. I need you to have a welcoming culture, a community that accepts us, and security, blah blah blah, all of that. Everything, if everything falls into place, then a concert happens. So there's a whole chain of things that we have to consider here. And speaking of a welcoming culture, and the last comment that's there, they won't come to Brunei due to religious reasons. This is another thing that we want to consider as well. There are some countries like Malaysia. BTS has been to Malaysia only once, and they've never been to Brunei. Both of these are Muslim countries, and Muslim countries, of course, have very restrictive very restrictive rules, and they're harsher on the girls. BTS are seen as a temptation, naturally. All the K-pop stars are seen as a temptation. Back in 2000, I can't remember exactly, maybe 2016 or 15, 17, somewhere there. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly, but the example is that B1A4 went to Malaysia, and they held like a little concert, mini concert, and like a fan meeting kind of thing. And what happened was that some of the girls, they like shook hands. Shook hands is still acceptable, I would say, even though by Muslim culture it's actually not acceptable. Uh, Men and women aren't allowed to touch if you're not related. And then, but shaking hands, okay, that's already like a little bit across the line. But some of the girls hugged the boys, and then the boys reciprocated the hug. They didn't know, they weren't aware. Although I really do feel that when you're going to a certain country, you should be aware. You should be aware of the you know what the religion is like, what the rules are like, what the culture is like. You must know to protect yourself. And they didn't know, they didn't do their research. And also the girls had a responsibility to protect themselves, but they didn't. They hugged the guys, and that received a lot of media attention. Oh, these boys, these K-pop guys disrespected our culture, and then the girls also, they were responsible for that. And in Malaysia, unfortunately, if you are caught like doing things that go against your religion, there is actual punishments, like fines. You can go to jail. You there's such things as like public flogging. It's kind of like scary and scary extreme. The backlash was insane, right? Like, I'm sure you remember, it was such a big thing. And like, to a lot of us, it's like, oh, but it was just a handshake or it was just a hug. No, I mean, let's respect that their religion has made these rules for them, and they have their own reasons as to why they don't do it. Religions and cultures are different. So, but that happened. The girls disobeyed the rules. They lost themselves for a second because they were so excited. And again, this is not an acceptable situation for the Muslim community. So, uh, and personally, I experienced the BTS, uh, the one BTS concert in Malaysia. I went to that, and when they did, when they did, We Are Bulletproof Part 2. There's a point where you lift up your shirt and show abs. I was expecting that, but they didn't do it. And then after the concert, I was thinking about it, and then I realized, because, yeah, they're not supposed to. It's like exposing themselves to the Muslim girls, to the Muslim community. And I think like they were already pushing it after 2015. Where is my ticket? I like how I've got like all my tickets on my wall so that I can just look and refer. I remember that concert was on 6th of June because Namjoon made a joke about it in the Malay language. In the Malay language, you say 6 as nam, like it's actually enam, but people don't say enam, they just shorten it to nam. So, and June is June in Malay. In Malaysia, the language is Malay, and so it was held on 6th of June, so it was Nam June. And then so Namjoon got to know about it, and he made a joke about it. I have a recording of this, but it's on my old iPhone, which, oh, fuck, I forgot to take it out from my iPhone. I don't even know if I have like a charger for it anymore. Okay. Anyway, Namjoon heard about this like language thing, and he made a joke about it on stage. He made a joke about his own name, so I love that so much. Like a wordplay pun. He's really good at that. He loves that. Anyway, yeah. Olive, you're saying wow. Like you're talking about like how restrictive it is, right? And how like strict it is and like crazy it is. So it's, yeah, so a religious reason is very strong. Apart from this Muslim example, I haven't been able to find any other examples of religion being a restrictive reason for BTS not coming to the country. This was the only religious related reason that I could find, because of this huge incident with B1A4 in Malaysia. I think those girls definitely were publicly humiliated, and I heard that they got some kind of, it was a big punishment. It was not like don't do it again and let it go. I can't remember what it was, but I remember it was really harsh. And I was like, oh shit, these poor girls. The thing that what they have to go through just because they hugged a guy. I mean, to me, it seems like nothing, but yeah, if your whole country is into the same religion, you shouldn't be hugging guys. Please don't do it. Although I do think a lot of the Malaysian population is very hypocritical on this religion thing, but we're not going to get into that. Okay. Yes. All right. So let's continue. You guys don't have questions so far? Any questions? Any particular like uh country you want to ask? Oh, speaking of this, and if you wanted to talk about like religion and stuff in a Muslim country, they did go to Saudi Arabia like a couple of years ago. Hi, Tanuja. Oh, yeah. Oh, you missed some things. Yeah, I was talking about like the whole India thing. We're gonna come back to that in a second. What was I talking about? They did go to Saudi Arabia, right? Which is a Muslim country generally, but they also have a lot of non-Muslim population. And so, oh right, the girls were arrested. I didn't know whether it was like they got a fine or they went to jail. I do remember that it was just a very harsh punishment for hugging a guy. But the thing is, you want to hug a guy, do it in private, do it in your own time. Although that's not allowed either. You can. There are terrible consequences for if you get caught alone for being alone with a guy. It's very strict. And yeah, I know so much of this. It's not even my country, but because like so, so much of this stuff happens in Malaysia. It's like really hot tea, so like you get to know about it. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I think that Saudi Arabia, being also a largely Muslim country, but also not, there are plenty of non Muslim people in Saudi Arabia, and they're very rich. So again, economy plays a big factor because a lot of very rich people are not Muslim. So they sort of have a big say in what is going on in the country, right? So also this helps to lend uh, the impression that the country is not like a strict Muslim country. Of course, there were even like outfit restrictions. You had to stick to a certain color, and you had to stick to like a certain like a looseness. Like you can't wear anything tight fitting or anything like that. There was actually a dress code for that particular concert in Saudi Arabia. But the thing is, the people were willing to conform to yeah, that's right, Rafina. The people were willing to conform to whatever was necessary in order for BTS to have that concert. And so this factor brings me back to the welcoming community point where the community wanted it, the community was willing to change for anything, to do anything to have that concert. And BTS were willing to go along with the rules, no sexy dances, no exposing outfits, like in LA, like they were practically wearing nothing, so much skin. I was shocked. I was like, wow, just don't wear anything. It's hot. You guys are sweating. Let's all be comfortable. Just don't take off your shirt. But anyway, um, yeah. So Saudi Arabia knows how to have fun. Let's just say, even though they're strict, they follow the rules. But I would say they are truer. They are good Muslims, in the sense that they know that a religion is doesn't make you super serious. A religion is there to guide you, and then yeah, and you can still have fun. Well, as long as you're having fun conservatively, like not like orgies or stuff. But anyway. Yeah. So in LA, they were wearing next to nothing, right? You've seen some of the pictures on Twitter. Like a lot of pictures were released yesterday. Jungkook's outfit, like, oh my god. I have. Let's let me show you what they were wearing. although, you know, although, uh, they did change outfits quite a bit, but whatever. No, I'm distracted. I'll show you at the end if you remind me. Okay, let's see what we've talked about: economy, community, culture, religion, restrictions in the space that you have. I guess we haven't touched on. Also, like, okay, we should also touch on the how much it costs to hold a concert. Some organizers, okay, so organizers are like the gateway to concerts in your country. They are the gatekeepers. So if the let's say BTS wants to do a concert in your country, and then the organizers say, yeah, sure, all the requirements are met, but then they give this extravagant price of holding a concert in their country. And once, for profit, you have to see your total profit minus the cost. What is the correct word? The correct terms. I know this. I just can't remember right now. Okay. The total profit minus the cost that you paid, the expenditure that you did in order to have the concert, then that net profit, the final profit, must meet their target, right? Like I said, every country, there needs to be a target that they need to meet in order to be profitable to have this concert. A lot of people make more money from concerts than from sales of music. So that's a big way to make money in a shorter amount of time. So yeah, again, if the organizers like slap on a huge, like, excuse me, unreasonable price tag in order to have that concert and organize it for them, then they would keep you out of it would keep BTS out of your country. Like, they won't come. So again, so many factors. I think I talked about all of them. I talked really fast like today because I got so excited to talk about all of this. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't say distance is a factor at all. I might have to wait until they come to New York. Okay. For now, let's talk about why they had concerts in the US recently, but only on the West Coast. LA was one of the very few major cities to impose an all mask rule. Like, you must wear a mask when you're indoors. Outdoors, not necessary, but you must wear a mask when you enter a venue. And all of us wore masks for the PCD in LA stadium. It was a fun project too. Everybody gave out like purple masks, so everybody had on a purple mask. But yeah, so LA got their shit under control, and that's why they got a concert. They were the first to get a concert. And of course, a lot of the Koreans were disappointed that usually concert tours are kicked off with a concert on the home ground first, in Korea first. But this time LA got it, and I was just like sitting back, eating the popcorn, watching the tea, and like, it's not you guys. I mean, I don't know why I felt like that. It was just something different that was happening, because nothing was happening during COVID. It was so mean of me, I know. But I just wanted to see how they would react. They seemed to not be mad at all. Off topic. Anyway, so LA had their shit under control, and that's why they got so many days of concerts, because one, BTS really wanted to do a concert, and at that point no other country were accommodating any sort of like concert things at all. And it was even if they were, like, for example, the UK was open to like mass gatherings and people were still going clubbing, and France was also doing the same thing, like clubbing, huge music parties and rave parties. And I have videos of this. Like, my friend in France keeps going to them. So yeah, concert atmospheres were allowed in certain countries, but it might not have been safe for BTS to go there. So LA was safe. LA was ideal. Also, like, Korea and America have a special relationship. So they held that, and then the reason why they're going to Vegas is because they're going to the award show anyway, and it's convenient. So yeah. All right, we might be able to keep the live under 45 minutes today, and that's an achievement. Do you guys have any questions that you want to ask me so far? And how are you feeling about this information that I've put out? A lot of people have left, actually. I'm sad. Let me find a picture of me in a purple mask. PTD in LA. Okay, here it is. Can you see it? I'm holding one of the giant balloons that, let me make it brighter. You know, because at the end of the concert, they put out these, like, huge-ass balloons, and everybody got to, like, pump the balloons around. I don't know if you can see that it's purple or not. Maybe. No, I didn't. It was so huge. There was another girl that wanted it, so I let her have it. This is me after the concert. Oh, you can't see it. Wait. Do you see all the, like, things? Oh no, this is what happens whenever I, like, show something on my phone and then it throws the color balance off and then I can never get it back. Oh, I hope so. Yay. You heard people took the balloons. Yeah, you can take the balloons. You can take whatever you want from the concert. I not stealing. I picked it up from the floor, a bunch of streamers, and then like all the little permission to dance little things. I think I've got it here. Let me take it. No. Okay. Where is it? I've got a bunch, I think. Oh, why is this a stray one? Okay. You know, all these little squiggly things from PTD. I got a bunch. And I laminated them. And I'm going to put them in a frame together with my concert wristband and a Polaroid that my friend and I took of us going to the concert. So it's going to go on my wall. There's a space specifically for that. So yeah. BTS concert muster from last year is going to be on DVD. What is the muster? Soju? Soju? Last year's muster. Oh. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of buying their DVDs. I don't buy a lot of merch, sorry. All my money goes to going to concerts. Like, flying around is very expensive, so if I buy the merch, I'll be broke. I did buy Soju merch, though. I bought pajamas, and then that was it, because I do need pajamas. I'm gonna wear them next time. The pajamas are really cute. Super cute. I'll wear them in the next live. That reminds me. Next week, I don't think I'll be doing a live. I'll be super tired because the day before is the PTD in Seoul live viewing, and I think I'll be out late. Maybe. So I'll be tired. I don't think I'll be doing a live the next day. Maybe I would. Let's see. If I come on, you guys will get a notification. Did you get a notification, yes or no? Please let me know. I think that YouTube is very bad at giving out notifications. Yeah, I don't buy DVDs. You know. You followed me for a long, long time, so you know what I'm like. You get to go to concerts. Yeah, and that's why I don't buy the DVDs. I don't buy the DVDs because I have all the videos on my own camera. I saved money that way. So I don't buy DVDs because I've already been to the concerts, except for the Soju. You heard a rumor that the Seoul concert could possibly get canceled, but it's already like so late. It's only next week. I've not heard this rumor. Oh, great, thanks. Okay, it's great that you guys are getting notifications. PTD in Seoul. It's in a week though. Is it canceled? I don't see anything on it. I hope not. Do you know how much was my fucking ticket for the PTD live viewing? It was $70. It's insane. Do you know how much I pay for tickets in Korea? Like real concert tickets, live concert tickets? $120. And like watching it in the movie theater, $70. Insane. I doubt they're gonna cancel. You guys, they've already put a lot of money into this, and so I doubt they're gonna cancel. This situation is getting worse though. Like they're hitting like freaking record numbers. COVID. So 250,000 a day. Well, if it gets canceled, I hope I get my money back. I mean, that's all I'm concerned about, to be honest. I better get my money back, Jesus. What happens to the people who bought tickets from like resellers? Will they get their money back? Is it soothing? I'm stirring it with a stick because I didn't have a spoon. Actually, I always stir my tea with a stick because sometimes I have like a very long thing and like I don't have spoons that reach all the way to the end, so I would stir it with a stick. Exactly. Oh my god, they better refund it. $70. My ticket, I don't know if you guys saw on my Twitter. If you guys saw on my Twitter, my ticket, I bought a lollipop with my ticket. It was a butter lollipop. Jungkook's piercing was removed on his Instagram. Oh wait, you guys, before we talk about other things, I don't want this live to get too long. If you guys want to talk to me, I will start another live right after this, but let's stick on topic. If this topic is over, then I'm gonna stop this live. I'll start another one. You guys can just come back and we can talk about something else. But let's not stray. I don't want this live to be too long. Nobody will want to watch it. So, yeah. Are we done with the topic on why BTS isn't going to certain countries? Everybody feels satisfied with the information that they got. You got your questions answered before you even ask them. You feel like you got some good information and education from this live. If it's all a yes, then let's stop this one. Are we done? Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna restart another one right after this, so don't go away, come back. We can talk about whatever you want. Okay, this has been Jae and for another episode of Army Tea Time. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you in the next video right after this.